Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for part 2 of my DV8 bumper install for my 2018 GMC Canyon. If you watched the first video, you saw that we were able to install an X-Bull winch with the front bumper insert, and I think it turned out really well. If you haven't gone and watched that video, I'm going to put a link in the description for you to go check that out. But what we're going to tackle today is going ahead and finishing the installation of the rear bumper. One thing I do want to point out that I didn't address at the end of the last video was the temperature sensor that sits in the front of the vehicle that has a little plastic mount. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm not going to drill a hole. I might just use some command strips and just put it in place and see how that works. It's just a temperature sensor for external temperature. So I think at this point, I'm going to just maybe command strip it to the back side of the winch plate and let it go. If any of you guys have installed this bumper or a aftermarket bumper and have had to deal with relocating that sensor, just let me know. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into getting this truck out of the garage, and we're gonna go ahead and pull it in backwards and take off that rear bumper. All right, now that we got the truck pulled into the garage, we're gonna go ahead and rip open this box that has this bumper in it. We're gonna take a look at it, see how well it was packaged, and then see if there's any additional accessories or anything like that that's come on the box. And then we'll go ahead to getting this bumper taken off. So I'm gonna get you on the tripod and we'll tear this thing open. Alright, let me get you guys off the tripod here. Take a closer look at this. So, I have the whole bumper here. It's same matte black as the front. I have a couple brackets that come. I'm assuming this is going to help it mount up to the truck. It comes with a box of hardware, just like the other bumper. And then it actually looks like it comes with working LED lights. I wasn't sure if this actually came with LED lights. I know a lot of aftermarket bumpers don't come with lights, and I think you can buy like aftermarket lights to fit these holes, but they provide you with the lights that will actually it'll mount right up there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this up and see if we can't get the brackets put on, maybe mount the lights in there, and then get this thing fitted up to the truck. So, all right, so now that we got everything cleaned up, we can go ahead and take a look at everything, figure out exactly where it's gonna go on the bumper. It's really nice that they come with these lights. I really wasn't expecting. I thought I was gonna have to buy aftermarket lights, which is really nice, and these are LED too. 6 LEDs all the way around. You have your hole here for your 4-way or 7-way adapter for your trailer hookup. Hole here for its access to your spare tire mount. Looks like there's going to be holes here for LED lights for your license plate. And then you get your box of hardware here, and then some mounting hardware for your LED lights. So not 100% sure exactly what bolts I need to pull off. I need to pull off my trailer hitch real quick, and then we can crawl up under the truck and figure out exactly what bolts need to come out for this to drop down. It shouldn't be too difficult. I think I'm just gonna have to figure out what plugs need to unhook for my 7-way and 4-way harness, and some other little pieces that go to the LED lights for the license plate. So let me get that figured out, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I think I figured out what I need to do. So I also took out the package of hardware, and it comes with a total of four bolts, 8 washers, 4 lock washers, and 4 nuts. And they also give 2 packs for your license plate lights. And if you look under the truck, let me get on my creeper here real quick and I'll show you. So these brackets here actually match up with existing brackets that are on the truck, as you can see up under there. I'm thinking that those 2 bolts that I'm looking at right here will need to come out for the whole entire bumper to drop. I don't see any additional bolts, so we'll just have to go ahead and start taking some of these bolts out and seeing exactly where we get and what needs to mount up. Okay, so it's going to be a 21mm bolt or socket, and there's the 2 bolts that I was showing you in the previous clip that will mount to the back frame of the truck, and then there's these bolts will mount up to the brackets that come in the kit, and then the 4 bolts, washers, lock washers, and nuts that come in the kit will mount the bracket to the DV8 bumper. So I need to break these loose, these 2 bolts that we just showed on either side, and that should loosen up the bumper, and then we'll let it down and we'll get the brackets installed, and we'll keep moving. Okay, now I have the 4 bolts on both sides of the bumper loosened up, so it's I can move the bumper pretty good now. So what I did is I went around and unhooked all the harnesses and all the wires. You'll see there's a harness right here. I popped that off. There's a little red clip you push up and then it'll slide right out. I pulled off my trailer harness, and this one was a little bit tricky. I couldn't get to this plug here on the back side. I was having a hard time getting it off. So what I did is I just pushed in these little metal tabs here. There's a tab here and a tab here, and it actually slides right out of this insert, which you'll need to take that off anyway in order to get the bumper off, because this will just slide right into the new bumper. For the lights on either side of the license plate, I just had to unscrew the bulb. You just twist the bulb out, and that was pretty much it. There's a hole here. This plastic piece comes off for you to be able to get an extension in there to lower your spare tire, but I don't know that this is really connected to anything. I think when the bumper comes off, this will just kind of come off with it. I think the only other thing, no, I guess not if I'm moving this. I was concerned about the hitch here. I wasn't sure if this was going to come off with the bumper, but it looks like this is just going to sit underneath the bumper. It's not attached or anything, so it looks like at this point all we need to do is unscrew those 4 bolts and lower this bumper down. So okay, so now that the bumper is off the truck, we can get a better look at the wiring harness that's back here. We have the 7-pin, which, like I said, I popped out of the back of the bumper, and it's just a clip that holds it in. So that's off the bumper now. We can install that on the other bumper. The wiring harness here, when pulling the bumper off of the back of the truck, I realized there were some zip tie clips that were holding this all the way across the bottom or up underneath the bumper, and I needed to go underneath there and clip all those off. That gave us access to both of the light for the tail light for the license plate. I have LEDs in here right now, and we're gonna need to splice into these wires in order to put our new ones on. Another thing that I ran into was the back of the truck has a hole here for being able to access the spare tire to lower it down. And this is held on by a set of clips, metal clips, that I wasn't able to like remove without cutting. So let me give you a better look on what I'm talking about. Here is the opening for where this tube slides in order for you to get the extension in here to lower the tire down when you need your spare tire. This has a cap over top of it, and on the back side of this there is a retaining clip along with this other retaining clip. I believe this retaining clip here goes on first, and then once this is up inside, this retaining clip goes back over top of it. It basically just keeps it secure, and I wasn't able to get it off without cutting it, but it's got these teeth here that when you slide on, it pinches it up against the bumper. I've actually taken this piece right here and put it on the other bumper and slid this piece on, and it holds it on pretty tight even with a little bit of a cut in it. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it that way. I might in the future go buy a manufacturer piece, but I really don't care. It's just a little piece of plastic that's being held on by the bumper, so I'm not too worried about it. So we're at a point right now where we need to get the other bumper up in place and see what we can do about this wiring. Okay, so I got the bumper up in place. It's a little tricky to get it in place because it's extremely heavy, but you'll see that once you lift it up, if you have a hitch, you can kind of rest it on your receiver here. That's kind of where I was able to stop. And then the brackets on either side will need to be adjusted for the width because you're bolting from outside in on both sides. And the frame of the truck has a little round tube that the brackets will slide over. Let me see if I can't slide up under here and show you. It's gonna be this bracket right here, this round tube that the brackets will have to slide up over. Then once you get it resting on here, then you can shimmy it down underneath and up over, and then the bumper will actually rest on the actual hitch here. Like I said, if you don't have a receiver back here for a trailer, I don't think you're gonna have the ability to rest it on that receiver hitch. That's what I did. It was nice because I could just set it there and then take a look at it. And now I don't have the bolts in yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some medium strength Loctite on the bolt threads and then get those started, and then we'll work around getting everything else installed on the bumper. Okay, so I just finished adjusting the bumper. I got the brackets on, tightened down the bolts. I guess you could put this on one of two different ways. You could put the brackets on first and then tighten them down and then put the bumper on and then put the bumper onto the brackets. I don't know, I guess I just did it backwards, I don't know. It was just easier for me. I put the brackets on and then I had the bumper sitting on here and I was able to tighten up with the bracket, the bolt in or out. There's a slot. You can move the bumper in or out depending on exactly what depth you want or how far you want the bumper to be out. I just made so that the bracket that goes over the round tubing underneath here was even all the way around the tubing, so it was centered. And then I just checked on both sides with my fingers just to make sure that I had the same gapping all the way around. Now I need to tighten up bolts that are on the brackets that go to the bumper, because now the bumper can go left or right. Now I just need to adjust depending on making sure that this gap here is the same as that gap over there. I've already done it. It's in the right spot. I just need to go ahead and tighten down my bolts down. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these down. Then once that's done, the bumper is in place. It's good to go. And then we can start putting on the pieces and lights and everything like that. So let's get back at it. Okay, so now that I got the bumper completely installed on the truck, I went ahead and just did a little bit of wiring and threw some stuff together that's gonna help me in the long run finish up this project. So what I've done so far is I've went ahead and put on the 7 4-way adapter for the trailer, and I've gone ahead and placed the lights in place. But I've also taken and added some additional wire to these lights. The lights come with really short wires, and in order to tie into the existing wire, I needed to go ahead and put some additional wire onto the end of these. What I plan on doing is, if you can see over here, I have the light for the license plate sitting in place, and by sliding the wires through, I can put it in place. And I'm actually just tapping into the existing harness that's there. There's a hot wire and a ground, and I'm just using these tap clips and tapping into the existing lights that would have been there for the truck. I'll do that on the other side. I haven't done that yet. And then for these reverse lights, I'm taking the wires and I extended these wires out as well. Gave me a good bit of wire to be able to run this back up to the reverse lights that are in the back of the truck lights here. I was able to peel back all of the black tape and wiring around this, and there's actually 2 wires coming into this. So what I'm gonna tap into are these 2 wires here, just like I did with the other lights for the tail license plate. And we'll go ahead and check these out and see if they work. So let me get these wired up and we'll take a look at the final product. All right, guys, got everything finally buttoned up on this thing. I think it turned out absolutely amazing. It's a lot better than the stock bumper. Getting rid of all that extra chrome is definitely unneeded, and it just makes the truck look that much more aggressive. So, and then unlock, we can see we got the backup lights. The reverse lights are all white lights, and then the license plate lights, I've got those all installed as well. So, give one final look. I think the only one thing I will say about doing the installation for these lights here and for the license plate lights, you need to have really nimble fingers to get up in here to get the bolts on here. I mean, other than that, you can use a wrench to stick it up in there and keep it tight while you you'll use a Phillips head screw for these, and you'll get an Allen wrench in the kit for this. But yeah, so that's pretty much gonna do it. So I want to thank you for staying all the way to the end. I hope that this video helped you do some installation on your own truck. If it did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.